Hi everyone, I am Goddess Green, and sorry for the lighting of this video. This is a very spontaneous video for me, so it's not gonna look as nice as some of my other videos, but the message is going to be similar. It's gonna have a similar intention. I want to share with you something called purging. What you can expect to experience when you're going through this process of transformation. Last night for me was very, very interesting. Last night had a lot of information and a lot of realizations for me. When you start this transformational process, when you start changing your life, you start changing your mind, you're changing into a higher vibrational being. Your mind is working on new neural pathways, and you start experiencing a lot of positive manifestations. But there's still some downsides to it that you need to be aware about. Not downsides in a scary way, but just things that you should be knowledgeable about so that you can just feel much more secure and much more comfortable when you're going through this process. So you've been visualizing, you've been appreciating, you've been meditating, you've been scripting, and you've been following your highest excitement, and you've surrounded your life with enough passions and enough reminders of who you really are and what you really love. These are the things that will keep you in a high vibration. These are the things that will keep you in a high emotional state and keep you happy while you're going through this process. But your old subconscious thoughts that were manifesting and creating the life that you were living before are still there. They haven't fully gone away. What you're doing is that you're just developing new neural pathways that are going to be the pathways that are going to create a better emotional system for you, and therefore help you manifest the new things that you desire in your life. Now, these old subconscious thoughts are going to start to stick out, and they're going to stick out so that you can start to look at them from your new way of thinking, from your new positive mental habits. So a lot of times you're going to notice that these subconscious thoughts are going to start to bubble up and bubble out while you're sleeping. The nighttime is a very good time for the mind to process a lot of emotions and a lot of thoughts and a lot of frequencies that it hasn't been able to process throughout the day. Because in the daytime, you're busy with life, you're busy with things, you're living your life, so your mind is really preoccupied with your day-to-day stuff. But at night, you're rested, you're settled, your mind is calm, and it's time for you to heal. It's time to integrate. I don't like to use the word heal because using the word heal almost describes yourself as someone with a problem. You know, it's never a problem, even if you have negative patterns. It's a choice. It's a mental choice. We're free beings. If you want to explore the darkness as a being, it's up to you. You can do that. You know, it has its value for you and its value to the world. It only makes your intention to be a light being much more powerful once you're done searching through the darkness. So these subconscious thoughts, they start to bubble up while you're sleeping, and it can manifest in a lot of very freaky dreams. It can manifest in restlessness. It can manifest in restless leg syndrome when you're sleeping. It can manifest in like a lack of sleep. You just go through a lot when you're sleeping. And this is exactly what I experienced all last night and this morning. I mean, I woke up almost at midday because it was just so much. There was just so much being processed. I got up at first at maybe 9 a.m. and I just could feel how foggy my mind was. I could feel how heavy my mind was with all the thoughts and all the realizations and all the things that were being processed. I'm so sensitive to the point that I know exactly what's going on. I wanted to wake up, I wanted to get out of bed, but it was impossible. I just kept feeling the desire to go back to sleep, like my mind wanted to do more work. So once you're increasing your frequency and you're getting to this higher vibrational place and your mind is working from a higher and healthier mental state, these negative subliminal thoughts, these subconscious thoughts start to bubble up when you sleep, and this is the best time for your new state of thinking, your new state of mind, your new way of thinking, your new neural pathways. This is the best time for it to sort of bring it up from a low vibration. Think of it as a body with a very healthy immune system that has realized the existence of some kind of virus in the system. So now your mind is healthy, your mind is getting stronger and better, and it's noticing pathways and codes that don't fit with the general system of your mind. So your mind is going to want to integrate these thought patterns and integrate these negative subconscious thoughts and integrate them into a much more positive, because the much more positive makes your mind function as a whole mind, and you start to function as a whole integrated being. You start to have a whole balanced emotional system. So once these subconscious thoughts start to stick out, your mind is doing the work to integrate it to its new habit, its new mental state, its new way of thinking, because you can't have your mind working in opposition. Your mind wants to be unified. It makes the job easier, it makes you feel better, and it's also one of the essential tools to getting you to being the whole complete being that you want to be. You might have started this process with the intention to manifest money, manifest a lover, manifest a certain social life, social status, manifest health, manifest a new home, etc. It could have started with these things that you just wanted to manifest, but as the process is going on, you're going to start to realize that it's a lot deeper than this. And like I said in some of my old videos, what needs to change is you, and you're going to start to change. And while you're changing, these are some of the physical symptoms you're going to be experiencing while you're changing. You're going to be noticing the purge. The purge is what we call these subconscious thoughts and emotions starting to come out while you're sleeping. And a lot of times you can have nightmares, you can have fevers, you can feel restless, you might experience lack of sleep, you might sleep too much, you might wake up feeling very foggy. There's a lot of things going on in your mind and your nervous system. I will be sharing a video about the things that you can do to help you sort of wake up and still be a functional person while your mind is doing this. And there are some herbs and there's some natural treatments and exercises that you can do to kind of get you back on track while your mind is integrating and your emotions are being integrated. So while you're purging, what you're going to start to notice that you're going to start to see flashes of moments in your life where you had made a choice to define something, to define an experience in a certain way. So for me, last night, I started having the realizations of moments in my past, moments in my childhood, where I decided to define certain experiences in a victim way. There were points in that experience that I could have made a different choice. I could have chosen to express myself. I could have chosen to be empowered. I could have chosen to exist and to share and to let my power out. But I made the conscious decision to be a victim. And then that started victim mentality thoughts, therefore creating some of the emotions you feel as a victim: fear, guilt, scarcity, scarcity, lack, overwhelmment, pessimism, etc. In those moments, for me, it felt like the safer choice. But now that my mind is becoming more whole, now that my vibration is raising, I could see my mind is bringing up those moments because my mind wants to integrate them. Some of the best things that you can do when you're starting to experience this purge is to start to visualize those moments. As those moments are coming up in your mind, as you're seeing them in your mind's eye, and you're seeing how you interpreted it as a victim and what happened in the emotion that you were feeling, you can start to make a choice, an empowered choice in that moment. You can start to decide, okay, now I'm going to speak out, now I'm going to do this, now I'm going to say this, now I'm going to choose to define the situation this way, instead of just taking it on as a victim. Now you're making choices with these emotions and these visions that are coming up from your past, because these moments were moments where you made a choice, and this choice just went on with time, creating triggers, creating an emotional body that just kept attracting things into your life. 10 years, 20 years go by and you don't understand why you keep having a similar life experience or similar patterns that have to do with something that you experienced 20 years ago. This is why you held onto this emotion from this definition, and it just grew and just became part of your aura. It became part of your emotional body, and you started experiencing and defining the world from this place, therefore manifesting from this place. So once you're purging and you're experiencing your mind going through all this at night, and you're seeing these subconscious beliefs start to come up, what's in your best interest is start to acknowledge what happened first, integrate it, allow it, and then you transform it to something that, a choice that will make you feel much more empowered. And keep visualizing this empowered choice. Keep visualizing it. It doesn't matter if the empowered choice comes out in the form of revenge, or maybe something a little bit more aggressive or outspoken. It doesn't mean that you're going to go out and hurt someone or do something bad, or that you're necessarily going to act in that way. You're just creating a pathway in your mind that makes you feel much more empowered, creating much more empowered emotions. And you realize that you have choices. You feel much more free. You realize that even from that choice of revenge, you can move to a different choice from revenge and not take any action on it. What you're doing for your body and your emotional state is making yourself a much more whole being. You don't want to stay in that place where you develop that negative mentality. You don't want to stay there. The reason you're doing this work is so that you can move forward from that place. And sometimes moving forward from a victim place is taking some kind of action in some form. You have to feel your power. You have to feel your own existence. You have to feel your energy exuding out. A victim typically takes on energy, and it makes their energy contract. It makes their body contract. It takes on stuff and it holds on to it. Someone that is empowered releases that energy and pushes it out, because they want their energy flowing, they want their energy exuding, and they want what they choose in their reality, and they're not just taking on energy that exists. You're putting your own vibrational mark on the world. So once you're experiencing purging, don't freak out, don't be scared, don't be worried. You're not going crazy, nothing bad is happening. It's all really good stuff. This is what's supposed to happen. And just, you can make the process go along further, and you can make the process easier once you start helping yourself redefine these experiences. When you can start helping yourself visualize these experiences in a much more positive way. When you can start using the knowledge that you're picking up when these subconscious thoughts are coming up to teach yourself how to make better choices in the next situation, and how to take away blame from the people that you've blamed in the past, the people that you believed have hurt you, have done this, have done that. You start to realize that there's really no one to blame, and that you just made a choice in that moment. You're also taking your power back by noticing that you had the freedom to make a choice, and now you can make a different choice and look at things in a different way. You're freeing yourself. You're freeing your emotional body. You're becoming a part of your transformation process. It's that in itself is very empowering. So for me, last night was very interesting. I saw a lot of moments in my childhood where I had decided to pick a victim mentality. And in these moments, I could feel, instead of the victim contracted energy, why is this happening to me? I could feel my heart opening up and allowing and becoming more understanding and becoming more open in those moments. And I could feel my heart resonating, and the energy coming from my heart and resonating out throughout the experience. I also saw myself making different vibrational choices when this was happening. Vibrational choices that made me feel empowered and moving past my fear that was holding me back from making these choices. That's the trick of fear. It makes you believe that something is going to happen when you decide to be empowered. You're in fear of some negative consequence. You're in fear of violence. You're in fear of criticism. You're in fear of something negative, so you decide to hold on to negative energy. It's a complete illusion. You have to move past that and take the courage and choose courage and speak out and take action and do something, and not let fear hold you back. Fear is a negative emotion telling you that you're going to experience something negative, so you better keep feeling negative. It's just helping sustain that negativity that is within you. You have to start intentionally making choices. You've already experienced life being afraid, being guilty, being ashamed. You know the results that that's going to get you. So why don't you just try something else and get different results? So it's important to be knowledgeable about what's happening throughout this experience. Last night was very good for me, and a lot of low vibrational thoughts and emotions and experiences have come into a much more better place of understanding and owning and integration. Integration is a very important part of the spiritual process. So when we have certain life experiences and we start to take on the definition that whatever we experienced was not supposed to happen, it was negative, or that I am negative because of what has happened, what happens is we start to separate ourselves from ourselves. We don't own these experiences. We don't realize that these experiences were meant to be a part of what catalyzed us into a different part or a different path, or is part of our journey, and we're supposed to integrate and learn something from this experience. It's going to be perceived as negative in the moment based on what we've come to believe about life and the way things should work and the way we judge things and try to understand things. And the mind is going to perceive it as negative because of certain emotional experiences that it didn't like in the moment. It's our job to redefine these experiences and make them positive so that we can integrate it and own it and start to see where these experiences were serving us. Once we see where these experiences were serving us, then we start to become much more whole being, and we start to become accepting of who we are, the life we're living, the experiences we've had, and we start to see why these things happen and why it's benefiting us and why it was a part of our path. Now, once we start to see this, we start to accept contrast and negativity in life, and we start to see that sometimes negativity is needed to move us in a certain direction. When we're too comfortable and cush and everything, we don't move, we just stay there. We need a catalyst. We need something that lights a fire under our asses so that we can get moving and get going, and it's only a part of our purpose. So it's important to start to redefine these subconscious negative thoughts that are going to be coming up while you're sleeping, so that you can start to own your story, own who you are, and accept who you are, and accept your experiences and integrate them and make yourself a much more whole, healthy, happy being. You have a purpose. Your consciousness here to have its own unique expression. There's no need to be living separated and disjointed. You want to be a whole being, and once your energy is whole and clear and straightforward, you're much more powerful, and making you just a better creator and making it easier for you to get to your purpose and live a fuller life. The less time you're going to be spending also on spirituality and understanding why certain things happen to you, and just recreating certain experiences in order to integrate it. If you don't integrate certain experiences, you're going to keep manifesting the same thing over and over again, because you're having an emotional body that is developed from that experience, and it has become a point of attraction, like I explained in one of my earlier posts. And once it has become a point of attraction, you're going to keep having the same experience again until you can finally see the positivity in the experience and integrate it and make it a part of who you are and learn from it and move forward. So the faster you can see positivity in everything that you're experiencing, especially the contrast, the faster you can move forward in life. And you have to own that you're going to keep changing, you're going to keep expanding, you're going to keep growing as a being. So every time you bump your head into something, take time to integrate it, to learn from it, and move forward from it. Now, the thoughts and subconscious patterns that you didn't do this with will start to come up in your sleep, and this is what we call a purge. So be aware of this and be easy on yourself. Take time to rest, take time to sleep, and you don't have to explain yourself to anyone. If you need more time to sleep, you're sleeping too much, you're on this path on your own. You're a whole perfect being. You don't need to explain yourself. No one needs to understand you. You understand what's going on, and you're doing your best. It's all going to work out. I love you. I appreciate you. It's always a pleasure and a blessing to be doing this. And sorry if I look a little disheveled. I am Goddess Green. I appreciate you. Thank you very much.